we want to thank all of you, District 33, to coming out and believing, after 24 years of not being represented, that we could actually have roads, term limits, less taxes, and sound governance coming out of District 33. As I have the privilege of introducing our governor, I get to tell you a little story about, there's a lot she and I have in common about our race. She went into a town that had a 30-plus year incumbent. Governor, how many donuts did you give away back then? I lost count. She worked hard, she showed up, and she committed to the people in her community that how hard she worked to campaign was how hard she was going to work when she's elected. And that has been my motto. As I've knocked on your doors, as I've met you in the neighborhoods, I have found that your concerns are roads, your concerns are taxes, and how our retirees need to be income tax free in the state of South Carolina. And so, without further ado, our governor, Nikki Haley.
It's a great day in South Carolina. It's going to be an even better day in Myrtle Beach after June 14th. That I can promise you. So first of all, I wanted to come here because I believe in Scott. I believe in what Scott and Pamela are trying to do, what their family has done. I think it shows when you've got family support like that, that's what it takes to have strength at the State House, because that's what keeps your moral compass at bay. And so I do have to thank all of the family for being here, because it says a lot about you, Scott, to have them all here around you. So thank you very much for that. Why am I here? You answer the question. You decide. You have a senator right now who supported Common Core when we were trying to get it out. And in a time in education where we want South Carolinians to decide education, we don't want it coming from DC. We want our local school districts to be able to decide what's best. We don't need any more from DC. Luke Rankin was for Common Core and fought for it. Now let's go into, that's education. Now let's talk about spending, taxes. He voted for an $800 million tax increase. Just recently voted for a massive tax increase on all of our cell phones. I mean, this is a man who has never met a port project he doesn't love. But this is also a man who voted on a $250,000 fishing trip for legislators with your tax dollars. You deserve better. You deserve better when it comes to things like that. This is a man that when I fought for 4 years for ethics reform, your senator is chairman of ethics. I don't know if you know that or not. He fought me in the very beginning when I was a legislator and one of our first things as governor, when I was trying to get legislators to vote on the record, he led the fight against me so that they wouldn't have to show you their votes. Now, we were able to pass that. Now they have to show us every vote on the record, and they have to show us every vote on the budget. Then I have fought hard because I think legislators should have to disclose their income. You should be able to see who pays your legislators. Because when you do that, one, we will see conflicts of interest that we can stop, and two, they're totally transparent to you. As chairman of ethics, he has been the leading fighter against disclosing income. But let's go a step further. I've asked for independent investigations. I've said that House members shouldn't be overseeing House members, senators shouldn't be overseeing senators. Because right now, no senator is going to turn in their desk mate. They're going to take care of each other. Luke Rankin has fought independent investigations as ethics chair the entire time. But yet, at the State of the State, when I said, legislators stand up, let me see who's in favor of ethics reform, for you on TV, he was up with 2 thumbs up. And I looked right at him because I thought, you're the one that's been fighting it the whole time. So he shows you one thing here, but he's doing something completely different there. He's been in office 23 years, 24 years. 10 of those years, he was a Democrat. He switched to a Republican, but he never switched his votes. He votes with the Democrats every single time. He voted against tort reform. He's voted against anything that's for small businesses. When we're trying to fight for small businesses, he's fighting for lawyers, trial lawyers. And it happens every time. And I will tell you, I love the sweet area of Myrtle Beach. I think this is one of the sweetest spots in the entire state. You deserve better. You just deserve better. But it's not always, I'm a big believer in, it's not always saying no and what you're against. I am against Senator Rankin. It's also about what you're for. And what I will tell you is, with Scott Pyle, he's a believer in term limits, and that's why we got into this situation, is we should have term limits in South Carolina. He will stand with me on transparency. He will stand with me on ethics reform. He will stand with me on cutting out wasteful spending. He will stand with me on reducing taxes and making South Carolina more business friendly. He will stand with me as a Republican. So you have a choice on June 14th. You can vote for a Republican, Scott Pyle, or you can vote for a Democrat, Luke Rankin. You decide. But more importantly, I want to tell you that he will be an ally. But he's going to fight for you. All of a sudden, you will know what's going on in Columbia. You won't have to hear one thing here and then find out something else back home or back at the State House. He will fight for you. He will be transparent. He will be for ethics reform. He will be for business. Help me bring him to the State House. Let's vote June 14th. We need Scott Pyle to be the next senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. We want to thank the media for being here today. We want to thank all of you, and I recognize so many of you from your front door. And we've had some great conversations. And I feel your concern. And as a father of 5, a grandfather to 5, a businessman, that is why I'm getting involved. To serve and end the word career politician in our government. So I know there has to be a question out there. Let's take one.
Yes, I don't know how many people have seen this or in the mail. In the mail, going around the media, things you are, it's not good.
Oh, the letter. Oh, yes, the letter. You know, it is a great question that after 24 years of being a state senator, you're not able to go and brag on your track record, isn't it? Now, as the challenger, his supporters are sending out letters that are just not true. And we have responded on Facebook. We are responding with a mass mail campaign. And more importantly, I have offered myself to a public gathering with our current incumbent, my opponent, to publicly answer any concern, and he has turned me down every time for any public gathering. So it is not true, and I appreciate you bringing up that question. What is more important is why is my challenger not talking about his track record? Why? Because he doesn't want you to know his track record, that's why. Yes, sir.
Then you shouldn't say it.
You and I will be able to talk after for sure. It depends on our schedule. Any other questions for the, yes?
Hi, my name's Rand, and I'm a person involved in recovery from alcohol addiction. And I've just, lately I've been appointed at our church on a committee to find out what locally is being done, you know, with the government or even just locally for recovery in this community. And as a recovering alcoholic, I know that when I came into a program with recovery, I didn't have anything. And so the only thing I'm finding out there is things that cost lots of money. You know, and programs to where a person is hitting their bottom are not paid, especially long-term places like sober living homes or even treatment centers locally. I mean, you have to get a waiting list for some places, reactive calls or something like that, or the lighthouse, which is really expensive. So I just want to see what you understand is
Well, I think it comes back to fundamentally who you are as a person, and do you represent your community or do you represent special interests? And as for me, I helped start a program called Celebrate Recovery. Our church has a program that every Friday night, the hurting, the homeless, and those with habits that need help can be reached. And then Street Reach was a part of a program that we've been a part of. Whether it's good or bad, we have a heart to help. And it's a servant heart. And that's what we need in our leaders. So specifically, am I representing the trial lawyers or am I representing the people? And as your senator, I'm going to represent the needs of everyone in District 33.
First of all, God bless you. Because every day is a challenge, and I know that. But every day is a win. Every day is a win. And I just personally want to tell you that I'm extremely proud of your struggle and your challenge and your winning spirit. But I want you to be able to have access to things. So what I can tell you on the state level, our drug and alcohol agency, what we have tried to do is marry them in with the other agencies that are also affected. Usually if we see drug or alcohol abuse, there's mental illness. There's some sort of background issue, so we bring in DSS. So we also make sure that they're working with Medicaid and with anybody at HHS. So we do a lot of the state agencies to where they're all working together. I think it would be a great thing for Scott and I to work on what we can do, just like we're doing right now with domestic violence in every area, what we can do to make sure there are better resources available so that people know where to go and don't have to search for it. You shouldn't have to search for it, but I think it would be a great thing for us to work on and try and find a way to do that.
Thank you, Governor. And here's what we're going to do. I'll be around for questions. We're going to break now. There's food out back for everybody. Oh, we're not quite ready.
Okay, so this is what I'm asking you to do. I have faith in this district. Y'all have always been very good to me. Always. I need you to go out and tell 10 people. I need you to put it up on Facebook that you're supporting Scott Pyle. I need you to put it on Instagram. I need you to put it on any means of social media. I need you to tell your church members, tell your neighbors. People vote along with people they trust. You have a lot of people that trust you. Take your email list and say, I just want you to know I'm voting for Scott Pyle and all the reasons why. Because they will want to know what you care about. Secondly, if you haven't donated to Scott, I ask that you do. It's hard to get your message out, especially with an incumbent. And when they do letters like that, when they can't talk policy, they try and go somewhere else. Distractions, I mean, I've always said that politics is the art of distraction. So the more distractions like that you see, the more nervous that he's getting. And then thirdly, I want to tell you that if you haven't given, or if you have given, give again. Because all these yard signs, they add up, and that's advertising. It's advertising for all of us to know. And let's get as many yard signs out there as we can. Let's go out and tell as many people as we can. Scott Pyle, I predict, will be one of the best senators we have in South Carolina. And I'm excited for you because you deserve that. Thank you very much. God bless.
All right. Thank Ronnie Rebar. We want to thank Longbeards for supporting us. And you're invited back here June 14th for our celebration party.